You're listening to SM Media, the home of exclusive West of Scotland Football League content. Hi folks, and welcome to the latest episode of the SM Media West of Scotland Football Show. I'm Scully Pike. It's an absolute pleasure to be your host as always. We're in the middle of a bit of a football frenzy. I'm sure everybody that watches this will agree. We've got football coming out our ears. There's football on all the time. But that does not mean the West stops. The West keeps on going. We have a lot of games to talk about here. To join me on this week's episode, I'm absolutely delighted to welcome Sean Kenney, the manager of Ardeer Thistle. Sean, it's a pleasure to welcome you on. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me on, Scott. Look forward to it, mate.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on. Obviously, we are Ardeer this season. It's been a bit of an up and down season. It's been a good start, a kind of poor run, and then a really good run the past few weeks. It's been a kind of up and down season, but it's that thing I speak about a lot. If you get a wee run going, you can be in a good position in the league, and Ardeer in a far better position in the league than they were a few weeks ago.
And that's what we spoke about, mate. It's been frustrating at times, of course, but it's been frustrating for us all. Mm-hmm. My message to the boys has always been the same. Like, say if they're bad players, then I'm wrong. And that's what I just keep saying, because I do believe in the boys a lot. The goals, I've spoken about it before. Some of the goals that we'd shipped, just me and my assistant manager Michael Ward will be speaking about it. If you're a day highlight reel at the end of the season, then you'll be framing you money for it, because there's been some criminal goals, obviously. There's the one that was well publicised against Largs, but there was other ones that we were causing a lot of our own problems. We've got a lot more solid recently, and the boys have done well. And the thing that's pleasing is, as much as it's been hard, and we've asked questions to each other, but the boys have really stuck together. They've worked hard. We know it's a young group. We've took everything on board that we've asked them today. Some boys have come out of the team, and their reactions have been excellent. So everything that you can really ask of them has been brilliant. Even when it wasn't going well, they were still working. That's one thing that I never doubted them. They still worked hard, and we were hunting for a while. But again, they bounced back, and obviously after the weekend we'll need to do that again now.
Yeah, we'll touch on that later on. Obviously, the result on Saturday, a defeat at home at Glasgow Perthshire ends obviously a 3-match winning run, but it's one of those games, and we speak about this league a lot, and I would say every league out of the five are very competitive, but there is this nature of this league that teams are beating each other all the time, and it's not like an absolute disaster losing a game, because there are a lot of teams kind of crammed together in that wee thing where there's not a lot of teams that are far better than everybody else. There's a lot of teams mixed there who could give each other a game on their day.
And I think that the sort of league positions, as you say, will say that. We were looking at it on Saturday. If we beat Glasgow Perthshire, then with a game on hand, that we could then have went above them. Mm-hmm. And now they've won a game and they've put away for us. But I think they're in joint third now, so that shows you how tight it is. Considering we were joint bottom 4 weeks ago or something like that, So, and it's one of the ones. And we say all the time, you can quickly go on a bad run, but you can quickly go on a good run, and nothing that just now is fatal. Everything's still to be played for. And again, we just need to bounce back this week.
And obviously, like for last year, the kind of conference system, it's went now into there's no doubt in my mind now that this conference system was a stroke of genius, because it means that teams are in with other teams at their own level. Would you say the conference team's been a success, particularly for Ardeer, and everybody's kind of mixed in at their own level now?
It's definitely helped us. It helped us, obviously, take that step. We got the promotion and things like that, and we had a good run at it. But again, now, I mean, I'm looking at it from a purely personal point of view. There's other clubs out there who had a right difficult season, and don't get me wrong, now they'll be relieved. They're playing teams at their level. And and they'll say that. I mean, one week we would play a team, then the next we'd play St Cadoc's, Cambuslang, Cairn. They were a level above us. And maybe on your day you can compete with them, and we did compete in games against these teams, but nowhere near consistently enough for a season. The consistency is massive. But the way it is now, I mean, we're kind of away for things, and again, the games that we're losing, we're kind of away and going, it's not as if you're not kind of away and going, right, hands up, they're just a completely different level for us. Whereas last season, Cambuslang gave us a couple of doings, and you're thinking, you can nitpick every single goal, but when you nitpick 7 or 8 goals in a game, they're the level above us. So it's one of the ones. For now, it's good, and I think you can see that with teams in the league who are starting to shine through other leagues.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get into, obviously, there was a lot of West of Scotland teams in the South Challenge Cup this weekend. We'll get your thoughts on a couple of kind of eye-catching results. We will be doing a roundup for the South Challenge Cup, which will probably be going out on Thursday, so keep an eye on that. You'll see full match reports. We'll all get into great detail here, but there's a few eye catchers. The first one I want to get your thoughts on: Rossvale 4, Johnson 1 on Friday night. Rossvale, a team that have been struggling a lot and had a few problems, to beat Johnson 4-1 at home. I know it's in the cup, but it'll be a massive boost for Kevin and his side, confidence-wise.
It's a great result. It really is. We played Johnson Borough at the start of the season, and they're a team that I think really highly of. They've got some smashing players, and say Rossvale have had a really tough start. I think there's a lot going on at the club just now, but that can really, it will give them a lot of confidence. And you never know. Again, we just spoke about it. It just takes that one wee thing to spark a wee run. They've shown that they can go out and beat a team, and then it comes back to a game we spoke about. Can you get that consistency thing now? Whereas there'll be a wee bit more. I mean, scoring 4 goals against Johnson Borough, no many teams will do that this season.
Exactly.
And then the other side, obviously they've conceded a goal, but clean sheets are very, very hard to come by at this level. So that's good at both ends. And there's a lot to take for that game for them. I know the results. The most important thing, but it's no a 2-1 or a 3-2. It's a convincing result against a very good team. So Rossvale can take a lot out of that game.
Yeah, absolutely. Another big result that caught my eye: Vale of Clyde beating Irvine Meadow 2-1 at home. That's a massive result for Vale of Clyde. I know they're in a really good run, but when you're a third division team, beating a Premier Division team is massive. And you saw the reaction of the Vale of Clyde fans. They certainly loved that occasion.
Quite right, and I think you've seen the changing rooms as well for Vale of Clyde. And that's a Vale. I've got a wee soft spot for Vale of Clyde. Brought up Tollcross, so I delighted for them. It's Irvine Meadow. I know obviously they'd be off coming last week, but the George has come in. What a job he's done.
Yeah.
For the position they were in, I think on 4 points we took over, and then they went joint top on 16. So they were on a great run. I was speaking to George on Friday night actually, and they're in a good place. But that shows you it's not as if Vale of Clyde will beat a team who are struggling at the bottom of the league. They'll beat a team who are on the up and who are doing really well. It's a massive result for the Vale, and credit to them for that. Yeah,
absolutely. Full credit to Colin and his side for that result. Just a couple of wee other results. Drumchapel beat Yoker 2-0. Auchinleck 1-3-0 at home to Neilston. Rutherglen, they went out 4-1 to Caledonian Braves. A shock I would say, for Cambuslang, losing 1-0 at home to Newton Stewart. I have said at Cambuslang that the South, I think it's a bit of a hard task because of kind of the standard of the league. But again, Cambuslang won't be a good result for the team, because when you lose any game like that and it's 1-0, and by all reports Cambuslang were very, very poor, they'll be looking to bounce back from that really quickly and get things sorted in the league, because of a bit of a difficult run.
Yeah, as I say, the team that we played twice last year in Paul and Bully are good managers, and they'll be as unhappy as anybody about that. They've got high standards, and they like things to be done right. Cambuslang, I know maybe 1 or 2 left, but they've still got really good players there.
Yeah,
and they'll know themselves that they'll be really disappointed, especially when you're in a bad run in the league. It could be that wee distraction She right, we'll go and we'll get our day done away from home, and we can maybe make a day. So to take it there, it probably ends up a bit flat for them. When again, as we just spoke about Rossfield, they could have done with just that boost.
Yeah.
And it's not happened for them. You know, it can go two ways. You can get that wee boost, else you can see as just another one, basically, when you're on a bad run. But they've got guys there that can turn that around. They say the management team's good and they're experienced, they know what they're doing. This isn't the first time they've been in these situations. So listen, they're more than capable of pulling things together and then going on. Again, we speak about it, just a wee run. That's all they need.
Absolutely. Just run through some more results. Clydebank 4, Lags 0. St Cadoc's beat Edinburgh South 5-0. Gartcairn are through a 3-1 victory over Dunbar United. Glasgow United are out a 6-0 defeat to Socky Juniors. Glenafton 1, Canoe 0. Colwynham 3, Musselburgh 2. Maryhill 2, Ashfield 1. Maybole Juniors 5, Glenrothes 0. Exciting game between Renfrew and Cumnock. 3-2 to Cumnock away to Renfrew. Spartans 9, Glasgow Union 0. Troon 6 and Cuthberts 0. Lothian Thistle Hutchie Vale 3, Kello 1. I wouldn't say that's a surprise result, but it certainly was an entertaining game. The University of Stirling, who are in a great run in the Lowland League, I think they've won the last 9 games now. They beat Darvel on penalties after a 2-2 draw in normal time. Darvel, obviously, they're sitting top of the league, but they're out of 2 cups. I know just how ambitious the club are. They'll be disappointed that they're out of a couple of cups now.
Of course, these kind of guys want to win every game of football. That's the bottom line. There's no, at the end of the season, if they win the league, it's a successful season. But no doubt they're hurting. They will be hurting about that. Again, it goes back to standards. They're setting high standards for themselves. I know Mick would be happy, but again, it's not just a case that will be the manager Grant and Raven and it like that. They'll know as a group. They'll have people in the group telling each other that isn't good enough. These guys are at a high standard. They've played at a high level, and as I say, they just want to win every game of football. So it doesn't matter it's a cup game or anything like that. They'll be disappointed as they would any other week. That they've lost that, especially the way it's happened and the penalties and things like that.
Absolutely, but a full respect to Stirling Uni, and they're a really good side, and I think they're probably one of the teams of the season so far across Scottish football. The job they're doing there. We'll touch on the Premier Division. We had 2 games, 2 interesting results actually. Pollock obviously went joint second, with 2-0 win over Petershill. Stephen Docherty scoring against his former side, and Fraser Mullen making it 2. Obviously, Pollock during the week. Big news, Murdo McKinnon has resigned. Murdy has done a tremendous job at Pollock, and we wish him all the best. And I'm not surprised, because there was talk during the week that this was a possibility. But full respect to Murdy for the job he's done at Pollock. And again, it's just I'm gutted for him that he's led Pollock to a massive clash with Ayr on Saturday, and he's not going to get to fulfil it. But what a job he's done there. You've
hit the nail on the head. It's this season already. I know Pollock been a hugely successful club over the years, but some of the fans' biggest memories of came for this season, and Murdy deserves a lot of credit for that. To be playing Ayr United this weekend in the cup, it's a shame. It's a shame that he's. But again, I would imagine if that feeling's there, that bit of professional standard again that he's got, he's not going to say, okay, I deserve to hang on to the United game, and then if it's there, the decision's made, then ultimately it's the right decision for him if that's what he's decided. Because if you hang on, it seeps through a wee bit. People, he would discuss it, and it would get, it's one of the ones that the decision made, you just need to do it, and it's unfortunate. And as you say, he's done a great job, and I don't think he'll be short offers, that's for sure. He's been excellent at Pollock, and whoever comes in's got big shoes to fill. Yeah, and they've got a really good squad to work with as well. You see, like Stephen Docherty, Fraser Mullen winning 2-0. It's probably a result a lot of people would have thought Petershill winning a poor run of form, but Pollock, you have to go out and do it, and to go second in the league, it's a massive result. Especially everything that's going on. It can go 2 ways. There is distractions there ultimately. With distraction, with that happening comes speculation. He can be spinning a wee bit. So the players deserve a lot of credit. The guys that have come in, and the coaches, and who've just taken the lead for the week or however it's going to be, they deserve an awful lot of credit. Get the focus back. I'm sure that's what Murday would have wanted every day as well. Just zone in, get the job done. And just say, I maybe expect it to beat Petershill, but that's not how football works. You don't just show up when it happens. You've got to earn that. And credit to him for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Other game in Premier Division, Atherley made it 4 wins out of the last 4 league games. A 2-1 win over Beath, Dale Simeon and Aaron Healy. Aaron Healy, obviously, who got his move a couple of weeks ago to Queen's Park. I think he'll join in January. Again, we obviously saw it with Scott Williamson going to Queen's Park, and like the likes of Matty Grant, the teams in the players in the West are getting noticed by SPFL clubs. How big an accomplishment is that for Aaron to get that move?
Brilliant. And I watched them. They played against their under-20s at the end of last season. And it was unbelievable, honestly. It was excellent. He played against a couple of boys who we were always going to bring into the first team this year. So we were up and he's not just the boys, the full team. The way he runs it, he's so excited. Basically, see if you want to play in it, go watch a player. He's the type of player you want to watch. He's really exciting. He runs at people. When he's got the ball, he doesn't slow down. He runs as fast with it than he does without it. And he runs with a purpose. He's direct. He'll take you on. He'll drop his shoulder. He'll go one way or the other. He can finish. He took a few kicks and it was fine. He got up. He's not massive at all, but he was not phased. He was not phased in the slightest. He get kicked and he get back up, got the ball, went at people. Just the kind of play you love to see. I actually spoke to the 20s manager and asked for a look at the team sheet as well, just in case in the future maybe get a loan or something. But I think that's out the window now, to be fair.
Yeah, but it's another big result for Atherley as well. Obviously, they had a difficult start, but they've picked up now. A big result, beating Beath 2-1.
Because Beaver have been going well. Beaver have been doing well. Chris has come in and done a good job there. He'll be frustrated at that. But again, it comes back to that Beaver going well and they should be beating Atherley. He'll just get promoted and maybe. And I wouldn't say there's. Obviously, they started great Atherley, but it's been a bit inconsistent recently. You know, it's not been a terrible run that way, and they are picking up. They're getting the odd points on the board, and they're slowly adding to their tally. I actually think they could be. I think they'll do no bad coming the end of the season. But that's a massive result again against a Beath team who have been doing well. Yeah, absolutely, big result for Atherley. I think the first division with 3 games to talk about. Cumbernauld went to Kilburnie and won 3-1. Kieran Bebekri, Fulton and Ardeer with the goals for Cumbernauld. It gives them obviously a win that takes them up to 16 points from 11 games. I think they're just a point behind Kilburnie now. And Cumbernauld did a really solid start. They dipped off a wee bit, but to go to Kilburnie, a really good side in that league to win 3-1, it shows you this league is just unpredictable. But again, massive 3 points for Cumbernauld. Definitely, because Kilburnie are a good team. Tommy's doing an excellent job at Kilburnie. They'll be disappointed though because that's 2 league games in the bounce. I think they've lost. Yeah. They lost up at Thornywood, so they'll be disappointed with that. I know Tommy will be happy with that quite rightly as well. Of course, it brings them closer together. But for the aspiration Tommy's going, what Tommy wants to do this year, you need to beat the teams around about you as well. So he'll be disappointed with that. But they can bounce back. They can bounce back straight away, and that's not going to be an issue. They're not going to be worried about that. They're just going to be disappointed to let themselves down. Know that they should be guaranteed to beat anybody. I'm not saying that, but losing 2 in the bounce where you've got the aspirations isn't good enough. And Tommy will let the boys know, and the boys will know that as well. And I'd expect them to start putting it right in the next week or 2 anyway. Yeah. Massive
7-goal thriller at Thornywood. Benburb beat Thornywood 4-3. A hat trick from Declan McDonald, Jack Purdue with the other goal for Benburb. Ali Small with a double for Thornywood and McLaughlin with the goal. Really exciting game. Massive 3 points for Benburb. It takes them to 13 points from 9 games. Probably Benburb will be buzzing with that because it gets them a massive 3 points that they really needed.
I watched Benburb against Greenock 2 Fridays ago. And I actually thought the way the game went, Greenock could have been a couple of goals up, but then Benburb sort of switched on a wee bit and they got a goal, and then they were really professional. Second half, they were really good. And I know Thornywood for last year, and I know they've added a couple of players. Well, Ali Small there, he's still going to keep scoring. He can score at any league. I don't doubt that for a second. He's a really good player. And for Benburb to go there, it's a hard place to go, and they've done excellent. That's, as you say, a massive 3 points, and quite right, they should be delighted with that.
Yeah, absolutely. St Roch's beat Bonnet 2-0. Ross McDonald got a goal in his debut and Bennett making it 2 for St Roch's. St Roch's, obviously, they lost their last 2 games. They had a really, really good start. We were talking about Davey. Davey was the manager of the month. He was started really well. They did a wee dip in the past couple of weeks, but a big 3 points and a Bonnet team who have been doing pretty well in kind of recent weeks. But St Roch's are a big 3 points here.
Aye, definitely. As you say, St Roch's started excellent, and then they've dipped a wee bit. I think they made 3 signings in the last week. Mm-hmm. They made a few anyway. Ben Daly came in. He's another good player.
Back, yeah.
Again, that when things did up and they've managed to go and bring in, and it's not just bringing in Andy, they've brought in good players, and that'll give them a right good boost. And it's sort of, I'm not saying this has happened, I don't have any knowledge at all, but if you go on that good run and people get a wee bit comfy, it's good to upset it a wee bit as well as a manager, and people say, all right, I need to lift it again, and to go and do that. And as you say, but Bonnet obviously never started great. But they have picked up and they have got better. Even the games, I'm good pals with Rory Campbell, plays centre mid for Bonnet, and he's a smashing player. Mm-hmm. Speaking to Rory, I speak to Rory basically every Saturday, and he said even at the start, losing games, but they were making it tighter, and then they were building on it and getting better. They knew the wins would come, and Ross knows his stuff as well. They had them organised, so they were disappointed with that as well, obviously because St Roch's had dipped a bit, but listen, St Roch's are still a good team, and it's a good result for them. They would like it.
Yeah, absolutely. Big 3 points for St Roch's. We'll move into the second. Ardeer Thistle 1, Glasgow Perthshire 2. Glasgow Perthshire obviously in a really good run so far. I think they've won 5 out of the last 6. Again, a massive 3 points for them. But obviously Ardeer, what was your kind of overall thoughts in the game?
Glasgow Perthshire by far the better team in the first half. Miles away even at 1. They scored a free kick, which we said don't give away fouls at the edge of the box, and we gave away a foul at the edge of the box. The boys put it in the top corner. It's a great strike. A lot of things we could have done better, but again, you see that with everything. But even with that, I felt that the next goal was going to be theirs at 1-0 as well. We made a change after 20-25 minutes, and we changed the tactics. It seemed to be a lot better after that. But we had Thomas ready to come on, and they had scored the second, so that made it a wee bit more difficult, a lot more difficult for us. But when we made the change, we took care of the ball a bit better. And then second half, we were quite good. Decision making could have been better. But again, Glasgow Perthshire had a good shape. They defended well. They were nice and solid. And they had the ball in the second half as well. We never bounded or anything like that. It was nothing like that. They were only hanging on for their lives. Mm-hmm. They had chances as well that it could have went other way. I thought we were going to equalise, to be honest, just the way it was going. But we've been winning recently, so you get a wee bit of belief about you. And I thought we might have just got it. We put more people up front, things like that, But Glasgow Perthshire deserve a lot of credit. It defended well. During the goal, we had many top saves to make. We crosses in the box that were defended well and things like that. So they deserve a lot of credit. Overall, for me, I'm disappointed myself because I picked the wrong team. That's the big thing. I picked the wrong team, the wrong formation. I changed my mind about what I was going to do, and make away if it was to start with a 4-3-3, and we didn't. And that was my fault. So I'll take my fair share of blame for that. And that's it. And we'll all just have a wee chat tomorrow back at training, and then we'll just talk about what we can do better, and we'll work hard. And a really difficult game away to Craig Mark on Saturday now.
Yeah, we'll get your thoughts on that later on. There's a couple of really interesting games I want to get your thoughts on for Ardeer. St Anthony's, they went joined third as well. A big 2-1 victory over Muirkirk. Warren Omar and Jed Dobbs with the goals for St Anthony's. St Anthony's in a really good run just now. They've won the last 5 games. Danny's he's doing really well there at the moment.
Aye, unbelievable. I think they're the on-form team in the league.
Yeah.
And I think excellent. They're winning games, and it's again that sort of run, that momentum. It's hard to stop. Mm-hmm. It's hard to stop them, and they deserve an awful lot of credit because they were a team that people, and you hear people talking, and you don't know what one's going to show up sometimes, and to get that consistency because they're a good team, and then they maybe never done it the next week, but they've got that consistency now. And they're firing up the table. So put it this way, nobody's looking forward to playing St Anthony's with the run that they're on, and they deserve a lot of credit for that, and they've done a great job there. Last year to get the promotion, and I think everybody remembers seeing the scenes there as well. It was great to see for them. It was brilliant, and the guys have done a great job and deserve an awful lot of credit.
Yeah, absolutely. Another team who's doing really well now is Forth Wanderers. A 1-0 win over Greenock Juniors. Jay Keenan with a goal for Forth. Again, it's been a big weekend. Three teams won, and they're sitting joint third in the league. The 3 teams will be buzzing.
Close, and Forth, again, as you say, another good run. We played them and we were 1-up, and it's when we were on a bad run, and the goals that we lost were poor. But they capitalised on it, and they've done great. And as I say, they've went on that run since. They've beat Greenock at the weekend there. Greenock aren't an easy team to play against either. But Forth, I know they've added to the squad as well. So they deserve an awful lot of credit. And they've added to a wee position of strength, which is a good thing. Obviously, sitting up there, they'll be looking to really get into that top 3 and see what they can do. And they're on their own. They're on their own just now. Who says they can't do that? They deserve an awful lot of credit.
Yeah, absolutely. Big weekend in the second division. We did have near enough a full weekend in the third division. A couple of teams were obviously away in South Cup duties, but some exciting games to talk about. Ardrossan get back to winning ways with 3-0 win away to Girvan, Curragh, Ferris and Gray with the goals. Ardrossan, they're obviously back to the top of the league. They're on a really good run after a wee blip last week, but again, Ardrossan, they've picked up massively in the past few weeks, and again, they'll be just delighted to get back to winning ways.
And I've got a lot of good players in the Winton, that's for sure they have. It's good to see David Gray get on the score sheet for him. David's a great boy and he's a good football player. So they deserve a lot of credit. Again, they've strengthened, and their strike force is really good. The boy Curragh's been an excellent signing for them. And he'll kick on as well. And also they've got big Ryan in there. I know Ryan wasn't available at the weekend, but he'll score goals at any level. But people are forgetting the boy Ferris as well.
Aye.
As if he's just going to move out of the way and let people take his place. He's merely good enough to stay in there and score goals as well. So that's what you want. You want the options. Frielzy will be delighted. He's got the 3 up front for him, and he can pick and choose what he thinks is the best. I don't think any of them weakens the team really. They're good strikers, but what he's got is really good experience through the squad. They'll be looking to win that league. There's no doubt about it. And I think they might be disappointed if they don't, but they're getting a right good chance just now, and it'll be interesting to see how the season goes for them.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams in contention as well. Lark Hall, a 4-1 win over Vale of Leven. Taylor Scott with a hat-trick. He's been in really good form as well lately. And Lark Hall, they're only a point behind Ardrossan, but they're certainly making a right good go at it to try and get into the promotion hunt.
The league's mental, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Just the amount of teams. I mean, I know I think they went the top, but with games in hand.
Lark Hall have 2 games in hand on Ardrossan, which I find interesting.
But even I think like Irvin Vixen teams like that.
Yeah.
I think it can go down like 5 places just with
it's crazy.
Teams. Obviously, somebody will be against each other, so it won't work out that way. But there's basically like 5 teams capable of getting above the Winton at the top of the league, which is mental. But again, that probably comes down to that thing that we spoke about at the start of the show about the league format last season. And if they getting a go at it now, as we spoke about the second division, you're kind of away, you're just terrified to play anybody. First division is really tight as well, so that probably comes back to answering that it's working well.
An exciting 10-goal thriller at Lugar, a 6-4 win for Lanark away to Lugar. Darren Lang with a double. Lanark as well, they've been in a really good run as of late. Lugar, I know that the league position will maybe be. They're sitting in 10 points, but they'll certainly take something. In fact, they've scored 4 goals, and they'll be hoping to get a run going because they're more than capable of it. But again, Lanark in a good run as well.
It's a great result for Lanark going down there and getting that win. It's some travel sometimes for people to where they're coming from. So going down there and getting a win. Listen, you don't turn your nose up at that at all, and they've obviously had to work for it. 6-4. The game went back forward a bit as well, but for Lugar have got good guys there. George Wallace knows his football. He's done. I'm going to say he's played at this level. He's played at high level. He's played really for good teams.
Yeah.
Even managing in the amateurs, he done well with Glenburn, and they were always one of the top teams. So Charles got standards. He's a good guy and he knows his football. So again, I don't think with panic stations and anything like that, Luger, they know the job they've got. They need to build constantly. And again, a wee bit of luck, a wee bit of momentum, a goal, what if a deflection to win you 1-0 or 2-1 or something like that, gives you that wee boost. And if they can get that, they'll kick on as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Big win for Bellshill, a 5-3 win over Port Glasgow. Kieran Markey with a hat-trick for Bellshill. Puts Bellshill, I think they've moved 4 places in the league up to 11 points. Hard-fought game, tight victory, but a massive 3 points for Bellshill.
Definitely, it is a massive one. Again, Port Glasgow is a team we've played in pre-season as well. Stevie's got a good squad there. I know, obviously, they added Milky and the boy McCoy, things like that. So they're adding as well. They're not standing still. Bellshill have obviously changed the management team. And then that's, as you say, climbing 4 places. What a boost that is for the boys going into training and looking at that and saying, look, and again, but it's great for Bellshill, but every team should be able to look at that and, like, you know, a couple of wins, like we keep saying, and things just look, the world looks like a different place if you get a couple of wins.
Yeah. 3-1 Finar over Carluke Friday night. Finar obviously newly promoted. They're sitting in 16 points from 11 games. They'll be hoping to obviously get a run going because they've been quite inconsistent. 5 wins, 1 draw, 5 defeats. They'll be hoping to get a wee run going.
Aye, definitely. But again, Brian, the Finar manager, he'll have them. Yeah, he'll have them quite calm, and they know the job. They weren't going to come in and blow MD away or anything like that. It's going to be, sometimes you're going to need to grind it out, and points like that in Friday night, massive for them to get the end goal at the end of the season. If they can, and I don't like patronise any office stay in the league, it's a great thing. People say that to us at Ardeer, and it does man nothing, to be honest. But you know, if you can get that solid build and then you get better and you set your targets a bit higher, then it's a massive club outside this level of football for years. I grew up not far from where they're from, and they've got everything they need to really kick on and become a right good club at this level, and that's including the people that are there as well. Yeah, absolutely. 2 Desmonds to round it off. So Saltcoats 2, Irvine Vicks 2, East Kilbride Thistle 2, Newmains 2. Saltcoats and Newmains, they'll be happy. They'll be buzzing with points like that because that's two good sides they've managed to avoid getting a defeat from. I think especially the way the game went with Saltcoats Vicks, I think Irvine Vicks were up 2-0. And Saltcoats, again, I was with Derek Fry on Friday night, and we were at the 20s game, and for them to show that character, because you know what it's like, see when you've lost a few games, and sometimes teams can be easy beat, you know, like when you go down a couple of goals, it shows a lot. It should say a lot about the boys that they can say, no, you know what, that's not, we will bounce, we will fight back, and it could easily became 4-0, 5-0, but they deserve a lot of praise. I know some of the boys that are down there, and Saltcoats Vicks have got some good players as well. On the other hand, Dougie will be really disappointed because they've got aspirations to go and win that league. I don't doubt that at all. And they've dropped, and I don't mean this with any disrespect to MD, they've dropped points that they'll look at as silly points. And in the last few weeks, I would say, I know they've done well up at Port Glasgow, but they'll be disappointed with the games that they've dropped points in, or they've not won in recently. But again, it's no fatal. They can pull themselves together and go again. They're still in a really good position, but they just need to get back to a consistent run now. Yeah, absolutely. We'll move into the 4th division. The Bailey Hanlon train keeps rolling. 11 straight wins now for Kilsyth Athletic. They had to work for it. A 3-2 win over Campbelltown Pupils. It wasn't easy, but again, this Kilsyth team just dig it out and get another win on the board. You know, a lot of times they're the satisfying ones. That when you're on that run, you know, everything can come a wee, things can come a wee bit easier for you. Yeah. So see when the boys need to roll the sleeves up and they really need to dig in, because what will happen now, you've just said about the train keeps going, but every team that plays them wants to be the team that stops that run. You know, every team wants to go and make a point against them. So credit to Bailey and the boys, because they're doing excellent. I spoke to them when I got the job, and I hope it really, really does well. Obviously it's a brave appointment at his age, but they know him, and that's the big thing. It's not a guy that's walked in off the street. It's a guy that they know up there, and I think it's a really popular choice. And well, results are telling you it was the right one so far. It definitely is. I was really impressed with him when he came on that show. He was so well spoken, knew his stuff, and I think he's going to go far in the game. I really do.
West Park, they're in a good position as well. A 2-0 win over Easterhouse, 6 straight wins I think they're on now. They was a really good run in this league, and again, West Park, they're coming from an amateur background where they've done really well. And with West Park, they wanted to just come up here and do themselves justice and try and get up the leagues, and they're certainly in the right way to do that.
That's it. These teams, and I know it is obviously as a step up the next level. These teams are used to a bit of success as well. Mm-hmm. So it's great to say come in and consolidate and all that, but these people don't forget how to win, and they don't forget the sort of stuff that they want to get there. They want to put a run together. They're looking up the way, they're not looking or fearing what's behind them, and the consistent run that they're putting together, that'll be through being used to winning and doing the right things, and they deserve an awful lot of credit for that, because again, it's another impressive team that's in that league.
Absolutely, yeah. And another result, probably an evenly matched game, just by speaking to a couple of people. St Peter's won, Thorn Athletic won. Two sides who have been fairly consistent so far this season.
Aye, and Thorn, I know them as well for previous years, and I'm glad that they've made the step up. But we went up, played up there as well. We were at Kilbride, and it's a really good committee and good group that's up there. So they've stepped in, and they're doing fine as well. And St Peter's have got everything they need. They've got a good setup. They came in and had their first year last year. It was maybe just sort of fell just below what they wanted to do. But obviously they look to do a bit better this year. But a draw, as you say, for what I've heard about it, was a fair result as well. But maybe both teams will disagree with that. But I'm just going with what I've been told.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's been a very fascinating weekend in the West Premier Division. Obviously, next weekend, a lot of West clubs with some Scottish Cup action. Again, it's just great to see the West teams kind of getting into that level, and it's hopefully they do themselves proud.
Definitely, because it's good for us all. It's good for everybody to see that and getting behind them. We remember all the runs for last year. I was sitting in here watching them on the telly, and and the nights at Clydebank, the Darvel run, Talbot as always. It's really good stuff. And I mean, we touched on the Pollock game in the last round. That was brilliant. See, just sitting here watching that, and ended it watches that maybe doesn't know this level. There is good players here. There is guys with ability, good managers, as we've spoken about, and it's exciting. And listen, who's to say Pollock can't do it, and who's to say the other guys can't go and do it either? Yeah,
absolutely. I'll just run through a couple of games that feature West teams. Drumchapel United play FC Edinburgh. Massive occasion for them. We also have Darvel going to Montrose. We have Pollock away to United on Monday night. Auchinleck go to Wraith Rovers as well. There's some big occasions. What's the most likely chance of an upset, do we think?
Whoever Talbot playing it, you just think Talbot can beat anybody. But Darvel, as I say, we spoke about Darvel squad, about the people in the changing room and all. Any of these teams, you don't. I think last season showed that you would back your teams to go and play the one-off game. You'd back them to go and beat them. I say Talbot's obviously the standout because they've done it. Darvel done it last year, and again you wouldn't write them off. But again, Pollock at Ayr as well. I mean, obviously it's a shame that Murdy's not there because we have spoken about it. But any of these teams you would back them all, really, wouldn't you? If you're looking at it, we know them probably better than people outside this level do. And you wouldn't see any of them couldn't go and win.
It could be a really interesting weekend. I'm going to put I think Darvel could go to Montrose and get a result. I think that's probably the most likely one. I think it's going to be difficult, but I mean it could be a really interesting weekend. Speaking of Ardeer, what's the kind of plans for the kind of rest of the season? A couple of big games before Christmas. Go to Craigmark on Saturday, then you host the likes of Muirkirk, away to Glasgow Uni and away to Maybole before Christmas. It's going to be an interesting period.
Aye, that's it. But we'll just look forward to them. Craigmark, we know Craigmark quite well. We played them a couple of times in friendlies and that last year. I've watched them, and I know Ryan and the guys down there. Ryan's doing an excellent job. And this is not neither respect to Craigmark, but Ryan will go on again, and when the time's right for him, and he'll get another job higher up, and I think Ryan will maybe get another couple of jobs higher up. They'll do well, and his team that he's got there with them, they're good guys, and they deserve it because they're working hard. But I say we're just looking forward to a game we spoke about. They're good games to play in. You want to go and play Craigmark, because Craigmark, they play football the right way. They try and pass it. They try and create chances. And I say the right way. It's exciting to watch. I mean, you know, and if you win, you win. You win's the right way. That's all that matters. But they've got their style, and I quite like the way they do things. And it'll be a really hard game, but we know the next week will be another hard game. And as you say, I think the next 3 before Christmas. It'll be tough games, but I don't think anybody really looks forward to playing us either. You know, I would like to think no. I think on our day that I've got a lot of faith in the boys, and there's nobody that you think that I don't fancy playing them the day. We don't feel that about anybody. We know for a fact if we show up to a game of football and we'll know at our best and we won't win, because we don't have probably superstars that are going to drag us out holes. You know, we need to have a right good team performance all the time. Whereas other teams will maybe they can get a few standouts that will drag teams through. We need to have day at it. And if we get that, then I think we are really hard to beat as well.
Yeah, well, I've thoroughly enjoyed your company in this episode, Sean. It's been an absolute pleasure, and best of luck for the season ahead. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us on, mate. It's been great.
Thank you very much to everyone that's tuned in. Please follow us on social media for more consistent West of Scotland football coverage, and subscribe to our YouTube and podcast channels to stay updated for the next West of Scotland football show. Thanks very much, everyone. See you soon. Cheers.